Good morning, America, for our viewers in the West. An American Pope, our team led by David Muir, live around the world. And it's one of the best mornings of the year on GMA. The first American Pope, Pope Leo XIV, celebrating his first Mass as Pontiff in the Sistine Chapel just hours ago.
You have called me to carry that cross and to be blessed with that mission. And I know I can rely on each and every one of you to walk with me.
After the emotional, monumental moment when the new leader of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics emerged on the balcony at St. Peter's Basilica. Leo calling for peace and unity, and then stepping out in Vatican City greeting the faithful. His hometown of Chicago, where he was known as Father Rob, celebrating the news. Bells ringing at his alma mater, Villanova University.
And the moment behind the closed doors of the Sistine Chapel, right after the 133 cardinals chose their new pope. This morning, who is the man born Robert Francis Prevost in his own words, speaking about what it means to him to be a man of God.
To be humble, to be close to the people he serves, to walk with them, to suffer with them.
As we hear from the people who know him best, including his brothers, who are live from the Vatican and around the world.
President Trump's trade war, details of the potential deal with the UK on cars, steel, now all eyes on talks with China.
Inside Russia, Martha Raddatz in Moscow with China's alliance with Russia on the world stage this morning.
Jury pool narrows in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. And now, questions over if one of the alleged victims will appear to testify.
Key testimony in the Karen Reed trial as the defense starts to press its case about an alleged police cover-up.
New hope from an existing medication in the fight against Alzheimer's disease.
And it's one of the best mornings of the year.
Oh my gosh.
We're kicking off Mother's Day weekend the GMA way. Our team is getting ready to pull off an epic mother of all surprises for one outstanding mom who can teach us all a thing or two.
Live from Times Square, it's Friday. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America. You heard that right. It is Friday, and our surprise dream team is somewhere in America kicking off Mother's Day weekend with a GMA tradition. Our 26th breakfast in bed for one very special mom. Find out where our team is, and that's coming up just ahead.
Always one of the most special days of the year here. We're going to begin with the latest on the new pope, the first American pope in history. Leo XIV, now the spiritual leader of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics. He's celebrating his first Mass as Pope this morning.
And he spoke briefly in English, saying this morning, "I know I can rely on all of you to walk with me as we continue as a community."
We have team coverage around the world, from his hometown of Chicago to Villanova University to Peru. But first, World News Tonight anchor David Muir starts us off from the Vatican. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Michael, George, Rebecca. It is difficult to put into words the magnitude of the history we witnessed here in St. Peter's Square. From the moment we saw that white smoke in the small metal chimney right there above the Sistine Chapel, that temporary chimney they put in place for the conclave, it won't be there much longer, though still there this morning. We're also learning this morning what was playing out inside the Sistine Chapel right after they elected the new pope. They were applauding him in that room. He was then taken to the Room of Tears, where he chose from one of the cassocks hanging there, and then he was walked down the Hall of Blessings to make it to the balcony here right behind me. 150,000 people were gathered here on the streets of Rome and in the square, among them so many Americans. And when they heard that name announced, that American name, they could not believe what they were hearing. The first American Pope.
This morning, the first American Pope making history after that surprise moment on the balcony in St. Peter's Square, seen by the world.
Habemus Papam.
We have just heard that Robert Francis Prevost of the United States, 69 years old, born in Chicago, has been named the next pope.
From the square, thunderous applause, welcoming the first pope ever from the United States. The cardinal-born Robert Francis Prevost, now Pope Leo XIV, appearing on the balcony and waving to the faithful. bringing so many in the square, young and old, from the U.S. and all over the world, to tears. The new Pope deeply moved too, and then his first words to the 150,000 who gathered here in the square and the millions watching all over the world.
La pace sia con tutti voi.
Peace be with you all, he said, and he offered praise for Pope Francis, telling the faithful God loves everyone. We must build bridges.
Dobbiamo cercare insieme come essere una chiesa missionaria.
The Pope telling the faithful, we must seek together how to be a missionary church, a church that builds bridges, dialogue, always open to receive, like this square, with open arms. Back in the U.S., in his hometown of Chicago, the children giddy with excitement, jumping with joy at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Academy in Chicago, some waving the American flag. The bells ringing in Pope Leo's honor at Villanova University in Philadelphia, where he studied mathematics. And all of this excitement began with that white smoke, 24 hours, 21 minutes after the doors closed at the Sistine Chapel.
Good afternoon, live from the Vatican. We're coming back on the air because there is smoke again coming from the chimney. Let's go right to the live picture.
The signal that there was a new pope came just after 6 p.m. Rome time. The bells of St. Peter ringing, echoing across the city of Rome and the world. And this morning, the deeply moving images from inside the Sistine Chapel, showing the moments after the cardinals had elected the American Pope. Cardinal Robert Prevost, born in Chicago, was asked, "Do you accept your election as Supreme Pontiff?" The moment he said yes, he became Pope. The cardinals began applauding as he made his way out of the chapel before walking down the Hall of Blessings and onto that balcony to greet the world for the first time. And just hours later, Pope Leo out in Vatican City for the first time, giving a blessing and greeting the faithful. The Pope choosing the name Leo, widely believed in honor of Pope Leo XIII, who laid the foundation for Catholic social teaching with a focus on human dignity and the rights of workers all over the world. Born in 1955, growing up on Chicago's South Side, his brothers, his classmates knew he had a special relationship with God. He is now 69 years old, considered young compared to recent popes, and he could lead the church for some time to come. The new pope spoke of his relationship with Pope Francis and his views on the church just last August.
Working with him, he has a profound commitment to justice and charity and mercy. There are dynamic, life-giving experiences that do fill us with hope, and we have to learn to share that message with others. It depends on all of us.
His work transcending borders, serving the church in the U.S., in Rome, and in Peru. He was a missionary, a priest, a bishop in Chiclayo, Peru. His focus, the poor, and he spoke to them in Spanish from that balcony.
Acompañado a su obispo.
And in that crowd of thousands, the Americans witnessing history here. We met Louis and Suhey Bernal, visiting from California, who ran to St. Peter's Square when they learned of the white smoke. They made it in time.
What about him and what he said here today?
I loved his message when he said building bridges through dialogue.
There was Christina Mori from Indianapolis at the front of the square, too.
There were 7 other countries touching shoulders. We all spoke different languages, we all had different interpretations of what was going on, but we were all together in that spirit of unity and excitement.
And the American seminarians you were standing with as well were equally as shocked.
Oh, they were all just jaws dropped.
And just moments ago here, inside the Sistine Chapel, his first Mass, and the Pope speaking to the world in English.
You have called me to carry that cross and to be blessed with that mission. And I know I can rely on each and every one of you to walk with me as we continue as a church.
After telling the world from the balcony here in St. Peter's Square that God loves us all.
An extraordinary moment here this morning when he spoke in English during that Mass. It was 1 hour, 15 minutes, 39 seconds between the moment we saw the white smoke from that chimney and then the reveal on the balcony here at St. Peter's Square. And it was well worth it, particularly for the Americans in this crowd, but for the tens of thousands who had gathered from all over the world, who really do hope that Pope Leo will stick to his words, that he will build bridges, that he will bring unity to countries whose relationships have been tested, bring their people together. And one more thing that we learned here this morning, the big question, where will he live? We know that Pope Francis lived right in the residence. He never left the residence, the guest house where he was staying, Santa Marta, to move into the papal apartment. We've been told that Pope Leo will be staying in that residence as well, at least for now, while the papal apartment, which is just over my shoulder here in the background, continues to be renovated. They say a final decision on that will be coming shortly. But again, the first American Pope here, carrying a lot of weight on his shoulders, the expectation and the hope here in St. Peter's Square that he will help unite a fractured world. George, Michael, Rebecca, back to you. Okay, David, thanks very much. Let's bring in Father Jim Martin, our contributor. Father James, thank you for joining us this morning. When we were speaking on Sunday, you called Pope Leo the least American of the Americans being considered. Explain what you meant by that and why it mattered to the Cardinals.
Yeah, it was something that was used in the Italian press. It sounds like a slur, but it's not. It means that he has extensive background in the global south. He was a missionary priest and a bishop in Peru, and I think that appealed to a lot of the Latin American cardinals and also cardinals from different parts of the world. So in a sense, he was more than just an American cardinal for them.
In your view, what were these cardinals electing Pope Leo to do?
I think they were electing him to be his own man, but really to be the successor of St. Peter. That's the most important thing, the spiritual leader of 1.4 billion Catholics, probably to continue Pope Francis's legacy. He talked about Pope Francis in his maiden speech. He talked about something called synodality, which is a way of helping the church being more listening, more participatory, more welcoming. But I think they really just saw this person was very holy, who had a great set of gifts. I know him a little bit. He's a very nice guy. He's very down to earth, modest, reserved, very humble. And I think they picked him more for his personal qualities than, anything on his CV.
How will he be distinctive from Francis?
Well, he's not Francis II. I would say he's more soft-spoken, as I said, more reserved, maybe a little less ebullient, more methodical, maybe. He's an American, obviously. I think one of the great things is that, people in the United States, Catholics in the United States, and Americans in general, are going to hear the Pope for the first time in history speak in an American accent. That's got to do something for the U.S. Church.
Explain the significance of the name Leo.
Leo XIII, who he's kind of nodding to, was a pope who was really considered the father of Catholic social teaching, and that means someone who stood with the poor, workers, labor unions, and he really started, Leo XIII started the modern tradition of Catholic social teaching. And so what Leo XIV is doing is paying tribute to him and saying, I too stand with workers, with the poor, with labor, and as he said last night on the balcony, with those who suffer too.
You say you know the Pope a little bit. Can you tell us more about your personal interactions with him?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not his best friend, but we spent 2 weeks together at the Synod last October. And he's the first Pope whose email I have. But he's a nice guy. He's very unassuming. Reserved is a good word, man of few words. But when he speaks, people really listen. He's really intelligent. He was the head of the Augustinian order, so people really trust him. People really trust him and respect him in the Vatican. Honestly, I think he's pretty much the perfect choice as the successor of St. Peter.
Thank you, as always, for your insight. And feel free to share that email with me.
I'll ask him.
Thank you, Father. Rebecca.
You can bet his inbox is very full right now, George. All right. The mayor of Pope Leo's hometown of Chicago calling his election, quote, one of the biggest moments in the modern history of the city. Alex Perez is in Chicago with more reaction. What a proud moment for the Windy City, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Rebecca. Yeah, Catholics here in Chicago are beaming with pride. This is Holy Name Cathedral. Pope Leo's mom once worked here, and many are now stopping here to pray for him. Now, Pope Leo XIV was at one time known simply as Father Bob to those in Chicago. He grew up on the south side of the city and in the far south suburbs. His commitment to the church started early on. He attended St. Mary of the Assumption Parish, where he and his two older brothers went to school. Here's a 1969 yearbook photo of Robert Prevost. First, now Pope Leo. He's the youngest of 3 boys, and his brother told me when Rob was in the 1st grade, a neighbor told them he would one day be Pope. And with all the celebrating happening, his brother also wanted to clarify something important. This is a baseball town after all, and with both the Chicago Cubs and the White Sox publicly claiming the Pope as a fan, his brother wanted to make it known and clear the Pope is a die-hard White Sox fan, so that argument has officially been put to rest. But nonetheless, Chicagoans are smiling from ear to ear to know that one of their own is now Pope. George?
Okay, thank you very much, Alex. We're going to go down to Villanova University, where Pope Leo graduated nearly 50 years ago. Deborah Roberts is there. Good morning, Deborah.
Good morning, George. Yeah, the Villanova Wildcats have long been a source of pride here at this Catholic university, but this morning, basketball might very well be taking a back seat to the Vatican. Long before Pope Leo XIV became Pope, he walked this campus as Robert Prevost. In the 1970s, he was a math major who studied philosophy before going off to the priesthood. And he was quite the clean-cut undergrad you can see in his college yearbook. This school of 7,000, one of 2 Augustinian Catholic colleges in the nation, is bursting with pride over its famous alum. Bells ringing out here on campus after the announcement, school officials pointing out with pride about Leo's warmth and humility. Now, here on campus, students are actually wrapping up their year with great excitement, I can tell you. Last night, they held a mass, and they had to move it from the smaller chapel to the much bigger church back here behind me because the crowds were so great. Students are packing up. It's moving day, but what a send-off into the summer for them. Michael?
Yeah, definitely a lot of pride there, Deb. You went to Villanova. I know a friend of mine, like, yeah, I took a class with him. I'm like, no, you didn't. Just stop trying to claim the name. All right, we're going to go to the White House's reaction to the election of the new Pope. Let's go to our senior political correspondent, Rachel Scott. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, Michael, good morning to you. And President Trump, like so many millions around the world, watched history unfold on television, calling it a great honor that Pope Leo XIV was elected as the first American Pope. The president taking to social media, writing, "What excitement and what a great honor for our country. I look forward to meeting Pope Leo XIV. It will be a very meaningful moment." The news came on a very busy day here at the White House. The president announcing his first trade deal with the UK, but it is narrow in scope. The first 100,000 British cars that enter the U.S. each year will face 10% tariffs. Then that number jumps up to 25%. The U.S. will also eliminate its 25% tariff on UK steel, and the UK in turn will open up its markets to U.S. exports, including beef and ethanol. Now, the president still insists he's making progress on other trade deals, and this weekend, all eyes will be on the Trump administration's meeting with Chinese officials in Switzerland, guys.
Okay, Rachel, thanks very much. Coming up, one of the older brothers of Pope Leo is going to join us live.
Plus, Martha Raddatz is in Moscow, where there have been a massive parade with world leaders in attendance.
And new at 7:30, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy's plan to overhaul the air traffic control system.
Coming up, we're counting down to our breakfast in bed surprise. It's one you do not want to miss. Welcome back to GMA. Happy early Mother's Day to all the moms close to our GMA family. There they are. Look at those pretty moms right there.
So many good ones out there.
You know, we're counting down. There's so many to our Breakfast in Bed event. We had more than 2,000 submissions this year, and one mom's story rose to the top. Eva Pilgrim is somewhere in America with a crowd of people getting ready to give her the surprise of a lifetime. Can I give away where that is?
No, it's going to be fun, though. First, new at 7:30, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy has unveiled a multi-billion-dollar overhaul of the outdated U.S. air traffic control system. It comes after a string of crashes and technical failures, including the recent trouble in New York Airport. The White House plan calls for 6 new air traffic control centers and communications upgrades nationwide over the next 3 to 4 years. Also, nearly 2 million boxes of eye drops are being recalled for possible sterility issues. The drops are distributed by a company called AvCare and are mostly for dry eyes. So far, there have been no reports of anyone experiencing eye problems after using the drops.
And breaking news for our viewers in the West, retired Supreme Court Justice David Souter has died. The retired justice passed away peacefully yesterday in his home in New Hampshire. He was 85 years old. Chief Justice John Roberts said Justice David Souter brought uncommon wisdom and kindness to a lifetime of public service.
Here we have a special guest right now, John Prevost, one of the Pope's older brothers. He's joining us now. Thank you for joining us this morning, John. I see you're outside, you're on the front lawn of your home right there. Have you had a chance to congratulate your brother yet?
I was able to speak to him yesterday afternoon for about 30 seconds.
What'd you say?
And that's been it. I said, congratulations. And he said, where have you been? And I said, I'm outside talking to people, so I didn't hear the phone ring.
You have had pretty much of a whirlwind over the last 24 hours. Tell us something that might surprise us about your brother.
That would be hard to say, but I suppose the most interesting thing is, I think from the time he was 5 or 6 years old, he knew this was his fate. Not that he would be a pope, that he would be a priest. Yeah. He knew that from a very young age, and his idea never faltered all through grammar school, high school, college.
Yeah, you said there's some pretty remarkable images. He used to play priest as a child?
That's also true. He would take our mom's ironing board, cover it over with a tablecloth, and we would go to Mass. And if you, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but if you remember an old-fashioned candy called Necco, those were the communion wafers.
The little wafers, yeah, little candy wafers.
Yep, yep, yep. So it was all taken serious. It was not a joke. It was
so where do you think this came from? Do you believe he was just born with this calling?
I don't know if he was born with it or if it was a seed planted by our parents, because he went that route and I went Catholic school teacher principal for my career. So somewhere the seed of faith was planted in us.
Can you imagine what your parents
would do? To tell you exactly when or how this happened? Yes, you're absolutely correct. I thought about that. Once people left the house, like 10 o'clock last night, then I was able to think about some of this stuff, and that was one of the things. How much our parents be feeling right now?
What do you think they'd be feeling?
Well, extreme joy, extreme pride, and then I think eventually in would come worry as to how Robert is going to handle this, because it's a heavy weight on his shoulders.
Are you worried for him?
Worried? I don't know that worried would be the right word, but I'm concerned, because it's quite a responsibility that he's going to face now, because he's got the task of trying to bring the world's Catholics together, because I think we're splitting apart quickly.
Splitting apart?
And maybe he can do something to bring it back. Yeah, I think, well, people are leaving the church. There's factions in the church. There's all sides to option. You know, there's more than one side to an option. I think he's got to try to face those things and somehow talk about it and bring people together to talk about it, to get worldwide opinions.
I think everyone's hoping that's going to be one of the hallmarks of his papacy. Have you ever talked about that issue with him, the fracturing of the church, the fracturing of the faithful?
Just briefly, and I think his main response, in my opinion, and he may be different than I think, is you will see kind of a second Pope Francis. I think he'll kind of follow in Pope Francis's footsteps in terms of some of the policies and the way he conducts himself.
What do you think will be the biggest leap for him as Pope? How will he have to step outside of himself?
Boy, I bet you at this point he doesn't know, because who knows what's going to hit him first. So I think he'll listen to what's being said before he makes that kind of a leap. If that's too big of a jump, and maybe for the first few days, weeks, months, first year, look and see what needs to be done, and where it needs to be done, and who he needs to talk to.
He was, of course, raised in... Go
ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say he was, of course, raised in Illinois, went to Villanova. We've been talking about all that. But how do you think all of his years outside of the United States, especially in Peru, have formed his thinking and his spirit?
I think that's why I'm saying he's going to follow in Pope Francis's footsteps, because he knows there are the downtrodden. He knows there are the poor. He knows there are the disenfranchised, the people who don't have a voice. And so I think he will be looking out for that, because that's where he spent so many years with those people who he worked with and knows what their needs may be, and maybe he can do something to help them.
The first text I got yesterday after Pope Leo was chosen was something to the effect of, he is a Cubs fan. You cleared that up yesterday, but explain to all of us who are not from Chicago why that is so important, what it means to be a Sox fan and not a Cubs fan.
Well, Sox fan is South Side, Cubs fan is North Side. Our mother's family was North Side, and that's where the Cubs came in. Our father was St. Louis Cardinals, so how Rob picked Sox, one only knows, but that's where he was. So I don't know where it came that he was a Cubs fan. So I did want to straighten that out. I'm sure it's important for the country to know that.
You still call him Rob, right? Not Pope?
Well, you are absolutely correct, because I never called him father either. This is my brother, the father. No, never did that.
And
I think it will still continue, Rob.
And I know you're going to be heading to Rome. What's the most important thing you want to say to your brother when you see him?
Take a moment to relax, and we're proud. And good luck.
Thank you so much. That was fascinating to talk to you. Congratulations on your brother's election.
Thank you.
And for more on the new American Pope, you can see a special 2020 tonight at 9, 8 Central right here on ABC. Michael?
All right, thank you, George. We're going to go overseas now to Russia, where they're celebrating World War II Victory Day. There was a parade in Moscow overnight with world leaders in attendance as Russia's war on Ukraine rages on. Our chief global affairs anchor, Martha Raddatz, is there for us. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, Michael. This was an absolute spectacle. Thousands of Russian troops, thousands of foreign troops, all celebrating victories past.
This morning, Vladimir Putin putting Russian pride on full display with a massive Victory Day parade celebrating the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. Russian military hardware and Russian soldiers passing in formation, with the largest foreign contingent of troops from China, with China's President Xi also in attendance, putting China's alliance with Russia front and center.
There are more than 11,000 troops here today in Red Square. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, tens of thousands are still waging war.
Putin had called for a 3-day ceasefire to coincide with the parade, but that did not happen. Ukrainian officials calling the ceasefire a farce, but vowing to commit to a full 30-day pause in hostilities. And now, so is President Trump, saying a 30-day ceasefire must ultimately build toward a peace agreement. President Trump has long said he can bring peace to Ukraine, touting his relationship with Vladimir Putin. But in recent weeks, Trump has threatened additional sanctions on Russia if peace is not achieved. I spoke to Putin's spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, about that peace agreement possibility.
Does President Putin consider Donald Trump a friend, an adversary? How would you describe their relationship?
He respects him a lot. He considers him a wise man, a brave man, and a man who can contribute to really restoration, reviving our bilateral relations.
So what would you say?
It doesn't mean that we're going to agree on everything. We will continue to disagree on lots of things. It's inevitable.
You know, President Putin passed right in front of me at that parade, and I shouted out, "Do you have any message for President Trump?" He didn't really answer, but he did give a little wave. Guys.
Wow. Really something to see. Extraordinary to have you there, Martha. Thank you. Now, with dramatic testimony in the Karen Reed trial, Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman joins us with the latest. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Rebecca. It was key testimony, but also a key inflection point for the defense in which they really started to press their alternate theory that John O'Keefe was attacked the night that he died, that there was some sort of alleged police cover-up, and that Karen Reed was framed.
Massachusetts State Police Sergeant Yuri Buchanan, the supervisor in charge of the investigation into John O'Keefe's death, testified that he and Trooper Michael Proctor were the first police to question Karen Reed about the death of her police officer boyfriend.
She was asked about the damage to her rear taillight, to which she stated, quote, "I don't know how I did it last night."
Both sides agree that Karen Reed last saw O'Keefe around 12:30 outside this house. During cross-examination, Buchanan coming under fire from the defense for his handling of key evidence collected at the scene.
So for 6 days, anybody who had access to that room could have handled that clothing in any way they wanted to.
That's correct.
O'Keefe's body was found outside the home of Brian Albert, a fellow Boston police officer. And when asked by the defense if there was a chance that the people in the home that night would have a motivation to lie about a potential altercation with O'Keefe, Buchanan said possibly.
Someone that you now are calling a cooperating witness might well be a suspect who's lying, correct?
Yes.
That's a possibility.
That is a possibility, yes.
Outside of court, Reed reacting to Thursday's testimony.
You've seen this afternoon how much evidence has not been shown to this jury. And we've had to work really hard, Alan's had to work really hard to organize it so that they can be presented with the actual evidence in this case.
And there's something we've been noticing lately. Karen Reed is taking an even more active role in this trial than she did in the first trial. And not just those after court impromptu sessions with the press, but also actually approaching the judge's bench along with the other lawyers for sidebars. Guys.
All right, Matt, thank you for that.
We're glad you're with us on some Friday Fun. And if you think you're ready for our big surprise, I'm promising you you're not, because look at this. Eva's getting ready for maybe our biggest yet. Breakfast in bed for one special mom. You don't want to miss this special morning right here on Good Morning America.
Hopefully she's not watching TV.
Good Morning America. It's 8 a.m. The first American Pope, Pope Leo XIV, celebrating his first Mass as pontiff in the Sistine Chapel.
You have called me to carry that cross and to be blessed with that mission. And I know I can rely on each and every one of you to walk with me.
After the emotional, monumental moment when the new leader of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics emerged on the balcony at St. Peter's Basilica, his hometown of Chicago, where he was known as Father Rob, celebrating the news. And the moment behind the closed doors of the Sistine Chapel, right after the 133 cardinals chose their new pope. This morning, who is the man born Robert Francis Prevost?
The new hope for preventing dementia. Can an existing drug help reduce the risk of Alzheimer's?
Plus, we're taking you on a journey under the sea, rare video of the deep ocean, remarkable access with a powerful message.
And it's one of our favorite mornings of the year. We're celebrating breakfast in bed with the mother of all surprises, for a special mom who deserves all the love, as we say.
Live from Times Square, it's Friday. Good Morning America.
Good morning, America. There are 2 days to go until Mother's Day, if we haven't reminded you enough. We are celebrating the amazing moms in our lives, and we are counting down to breakfast in bed.
There's no such thing as too many Mother's Day reminders, Michael. And this is such a fun tradition we do here at GMA all morning long. We've been telling you that Eva Pilgrim is somewhere in America to surprise one very special mother. And now we can reveal where she is. She is live in Bainbridge, Georgia. Hey, Eva, how's it going there?
Hey, Rebecca. So we are here in Bainbridge, Georgia to honor Patricia Isom. And she is down the hall. She is an incredible mother and mother to so many other kids because she's an educator. She's been an educator for 20 years. She thinks she's in a professional development meeting, but she's not, because look what we have in store for her. I just want to see you to see what's going on. We have her whole school here, her best friends. We have her family. We have 20-time Grammy Award winner, gospel singer Kirk Franklin. Rebecca, we have so many surprises for her. I cannot wait for her to see this. It's going to be such a fun moment.
That is a crazy crowd.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks very much. First look at the top stories breaking today. We start with the latest on the first American Pope, Leo XIV, now the spiritual leader of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics. He celebrated his first Mass as Pope this morning. Let's go to Terry Moran in Vatican City. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning. George, Pope Leo is a Chicagoan, and as we heard in your interview with his brother, he grew up in a close-knit family in Dolton, Illinois, just across the line from Chicago's South Side, and the quips and the memes have already begun. There are some who are hoping that Pope Leo's first act might be the canonization of the 1985 Chicago Bears, but really, what his family and his hometown gave him was the foundation of his faith and his commitment to serve.
This morning, Pope Leo XIV is making history, giving his first homily this morning, partly in English.
And I know I can rely on each and every one of you to walk with me.
At the relatively young age of 69, he is the first ever American Pope.
Now the Holy Father to 1.4 billion Catholics across the globe. Born Robert Francis Prevost just outside Chicago, he attended high school at St. Augustine Seminary in Holland, Michigan. His classmate Jim Priestley remembers him as devout and whip smart.
He's extremely bright, and he's very well organized, and he's a very, very nice guy.
After attending college at Villanova University in Pennsylvania, where he studied math, he was ordained a priest in 1982, and then he earned a doctorate in canon law in Rome. For 2 decades, he worked in Peru as a missionary, a teacher, a parish priest, and finally a bishop. Overall, Pope Leo is seen as a centrist who will continue key parts of Pope Francis's legacy but moderate others. He is progressive on social issues like the plight of migrants and the poor. He opposes ordaining women as deacons, and he's less liberal on LGBTQ issues than his predecessor. His family says there's no one better for this job.
His brother John speaking to George earlier this morning.
The most interesting thing is, I think from the time he was 5 or 6 years old, he knew this was his fate. Not that he would be a pope, that he would be a priest.
In listening to all three Prevost brothers, you do get a sense of how much love was in that family and of what kind of people his mom and dad were. Michael?
All right, Terry, thanks for that. And Pope Leo, he spent a lot of his time as a missionary in Peru. And our Matt Rivers is in Peru this morning, where they consider him one of their own. Good morning, Matt.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. As the world really gets to know this Pope better, in order to understand what helped shape him, you really have to come here to Peru, where Pope Leo, or Papa Leon, as he is now known here, spent decades of his life working for the church. He started out as a missionary back in the 1980s here, and in total spent more than 20 years in Peru, eventually even becoming a naturalized citizen, as well as the Archbishop of Chiclayo, a beloved but impoverished part of this country. And so if Pope Leo is seen in the mold of Pope Francis as being close to the poor, seen as being humble, it is in northwestern Peru, in Chiclayo, where he really earned that description. He even mentioned his ministry in Chiclayo as some of the first words spoken from that balcony in Rome, in Spanish no less, a nod to how important this country is to him. And of course, Peruvians were both stunned and elated to find out that a man who had spent so much of his life here, who became fluent in the local culture and the language, had been chosen pontiff. And you know, Michael, we're talking about this a lot this morning. This might be the first U.S. Pope, but there's a lot of people here in Peru this morning that think this new Pope is Peruvian too. Michael?
Yeah, you can feel their connection to him. You hear those horns, they're excited about it. All right, thank you so much for that, Matt. And for more on the new American Pope, you can see a special 2020 tonight at 9/8 Central right here on ABC.
And we turn now to breaking news for our viewers in the West. Retired Supreme Court Justice David Souter has died. The retired justice passed away peacefully yesterday in his home in New Hampshire. He was 85 years old. Souter was nominated in 1990 by President George H.W. Bush. Souter retired in 2009 after serving 19 years on the High Court. Chief Justice John Roberts said Justice David Souter brought uncommon wisdom and kindness to a lifetime of public service. He will be greatly missed.
Turn now to the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Court resumes this morning with 45 potential jurors. Attorneys will narrow that down to 12 jurors, 6 alternates. Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katursky is at the court. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, George. On Combs, we'll find out a short time from now who will decide whether he's guilty of the sex crimes charges that could send him to prison for decades. As you say, the lawyers are going to choose from a pool of 45 jurors to decide. It could be a Manhattan woman who's an archivist for the Alvin Ailey Dance Foundation. She listens to classical music. Or it could be a transit worker from the Bronx who likes hip hop. Many of the prospective jurors have heard about the case. They've seen the 2016 video, first obtained by CNN, of Combs kicking and dragging Cassie in a hotel. But all of them said they had formed no opinion and they pledged to be fair. Combs has watched them intently over the last 3 days of jury selection, sharing smiles and nods and admitting to being a little nervous. Opening statements and witness testimony come on Monday. There's already one potential snag for the government. A woman identified as victim 3 has been subpoenaed to testify, but federal prosecutors aren't sure she's going to show up because they say they've had trouble communicating with her lawyer. The indictment identifies her as one of the women that Combs coerced for sex, although Combs says all of the sex that he's charged with was consensual. Rebecca?
All right, Aaron, thank you. We're going to shift gears now to the NBA playoffs. The Timberwolves and the Warriors faced off last night without Steph Curry, and Will Reeve is here with more. Good morning, Will. This is a fun one for me. I'm just living in it.
It sure is a nice win for the Minnesota in there. Yeah, they're tied at 1 now, the Minnesota Timberwolves. With the Warriors, Steph Curry likely out at least a week with a hamstring strain. The Warriors lost game 2 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. The series tied at 1. Tonight on ESPN, the Pacers try to extend their surprise lead on the Cavaliers. And then a pivotal game 3 between the Nuggets and the Thunder. And then tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern on ABC at the world's most famous arena in New York City, the New York Knickerbockers hosting the Boston Celtics. The Knicks somehow up 2-0 in the series after consecutive 20-point comeback wins in Boston that were kind of like divine intervention. Speaking of which, the new Pope, Leo, went to Villanova, as we've established, as did Knicks stars Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Hart. The internet has decided that means the Knicks are winning it all. Knicks superfan Spike Lee posting as much, saying, quote, "It's divinity. The tickets for tomorrow's game are approximately $1 gajillion. It's about $700 to get in the building on the secondary market. But as Michael knows, you just got to be in the building. It's going to be wild. It's on ABC. It's going to be great.
Yeah. And I mean, I love it when you go surprise 2-0. No one believes they were going to be in a position, but we are happy they are. If you live here in New York City, going to be a big game.
Big weekend ahead. Yes. Thank you, Will. Coming up on our GMA Morning Menu, the new study about an existing medication and reducing the risk of dementia. Dr. Tara Narula is here to talk about it.
Also ahead, the classic rock band announcing a North American farewell tour. Who is it? Sam has the details in Pop News. Did you catch that?
Well, if you haven't gotten your mom a Mother's Day gift, it's not too late. Sam and Lori, they have you covered. Hey, guys.
Michael, it's almost too late, but if you forgot to order the flowers, Lori, can I actually do this and get it there in time?
You're about to find out in the right stuff, but the answer is yes.
All right. And speaking of Mother's Day, Eva's someplace in America. Forget where you've heard, because this is a surprise, people. It's someplace, and let's go southeast. Hey, Eva.
Hey, Sam, yeah, we're in Bainbridge, Georgia. We have superstar gospel singer Kirk Franklin. We have the family of Patricia Isom. She is the teacher and the mother that we're going to be honoring today. This is her school. Show her some love, guys. We're going to also show her a lot more love when we come back. Stay with us.
It is a good day, and look at all those great moms. We are celebrating moms all morning long as we count down to our big breakfast in bed surprise for one deserving mom who we're pretty sure has no idea all those people are there to give her the most memorable morning of her life. That is, of course, coming up. Hey, Michael.
Hey, George. We're going to go down to our GMA cover story. A new study finds the medication commonly used to treat HIV may significantly lower the risk of developing dementia. ABC News Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Tara Narula is here with more. Doc, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Tell us about this study, research.
Researchers here looked at 2 large databases, over 200,000 patients. They were 50 years or older who had, as you mentioned, either HIV or hepatitis B. They looked at those individuals who got a certain type of antiretroviral therapy called NRTI, and they found that, in fact, those patients did end up developing a lower or had a lower risk of dementia associated. So for every year that those patients took the drug, there was a 6 to 13% 30% decline in the risk of developing Alzheimer's dementia. The researchers estimate that this type of drug could actually prevent around 1 million new cases of Alzheimer's dementia per year. Why is this interesting? Well, we don't have a lot of treatments, if any, to really prevent Alzheimer's. We don't have a lot to treat Alzheimer's, and this really works in a different fashion. These drugs target inflammation in the brain. We know that patients with Alzheimer's, those abnormal proteins in the brain cause inflammation, and these drugs target something called inflammasomes, and really by reducing that inflammation, they're preventing potentially that cellular death and the cognitive decline associated. Now, this was not a cause-effect study, so we do need more clinical trials, but it's definitely promising.
Well, like you said, it's going to take more time to see if the drugs actually slow the progression of Alzheimer's, but any slowing would be good, I'm pretty sure. What options are available right now, though, for someone who may be going through this?
Yeah, so not a ton, right? I mean, we saw the first new drug for Alzheimer's just came out on the market a couple years ago, and that took 20 years to get there. So what we have now are really drugs that target the biology and drugs that target symptoms. So for the biology, we're talking about those anti-amyloid drugs. There's really 2 on the market in the last several years, and they reduce those proteins or plaques in the brain. They're IV infusions. They do come with some side effects, like in some cases, brain swelling or bleeding. The other big class of drugs targets symptoms. So it targets chemical messengers in the brain that help patients basically function better. Outside of that, we talk about lifestyle things. So exercise, diet, the Mediterranean diet, cognitive stimulating activities, and then controlling cardiovascular risk factors. So we know that things like hypertension, cholesterol, and diabetes are associated with dementia.
Doc, thank you. You always got it down. You always got all the information we need. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Michael.
Rebecca?
She really does, and it's so promising. Thank you, Michael. We're going to turn now to a brand new documentary from Sir David Attenborough, one of the foremost natural historians of our time, and Ginger's here to tell us all about it.
Who does not love him? And he's got something new for all of us. Sir David likes to say, if we save the sea, we save our world. And in his latest documentary, called simply Ocean, he takes us on a journey into the Earth's most vital and vulnerable ecosystem. The documentary is hopeful and inspiring, but it also contains warnings from the deep, including very rare video of a controversial and destructive fishing technique, deep sea fishing with massive metal nets. Because the team secured remarkable access to these fishing boats, they were able to capture images showing the nets raking the ocean floor, scooping up all the sea life there, and killing more than the species that they were trying to harvest. It shines a light on the destruction that the practice wreaks. Ocean with David Attenborough is playing in select theaters now. It airs on the National Geographic Channel on June 7th and streams on Disney Plus and Hulu the next day.
Boy, he's done so much amazing work.
So much, and to really put this out there, that deep sea we know so little about, and then now how much we need to care for
And
it.
his whole lifetime. What is he, 99?
And I think he's having a birthday, so it's all coming together.
It's Friday. Sam's here. That means it's time for Pop News.
All right, let's do a Friday Pop News,
please.
George. Why don't we get underway with this? All right, let's begin Pop News with a musical question. Who are you? Who? Did you get it? Some of you did. Picture this. The year is 1978. Maybe you're in high school and maybe you're rocking some plaid, bell-bottom, low-rise. I don't know, with a big bow tie. Maybe. Don't start, George.
I had those pants.
Did you? Mine were different from yours, George. Mine came from the Husky department. So just so you know. All right. So here, this song just hit the airwaves. Take a listen. I'm sorry, George and I are discussing our pants. They have a cuff on the bottom. They were the same. All right, so to answer our original question, the legendary British rock band, The Who, they've announced a bittersweet farewell tour of the U.S. and Canada. It's called The Song Is Over Tour, so this time they really mean it, and will feature hits from the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer's 6-decade career. This magical tour kicks off on August 16th. Do not miss it. Kicks off fittingly in Sunset, Georgia.
You know, you two are welcome to wear those pants.
I was gonna say, like,
just don't rub them together and start a fire. You're more than welcome to wear them.
that is the tour of those pants we do not want to see end. You know?
Come on. And I said Sunset, Georgia. It's Florida. So, all right, just to be sure. All right, now let's play a game here. And here, you ready, America? Here are the clues. Michael, game show. Big money. Shape. That's right. Did you get it? I'm talking about the $100,000 pyramid. Am I good? Am I invited?
Did he win?
Yes, of course you can.
No, but really, how do you think? What do you think? Were those good clues?
I hope your partner's good.
They're gearing up for an epic season finale with a 90210 reunion, heating up the competition. And we've got an exclusive sneak peek because we know somebody inside. Check this out.
What do you two like?
I'm not gonna be able to do rock stars. Like, it's if that's it, but it's never what it seems, right?
You two are full of discussions here.
Which one, rap or QB? Sorry.
Half-hour show.
Oh, I've grown a full beard since we've been here.
So have I.
That's Tori Spelling taking over and talking to her former co-star, Brian Austin Green, battling it out for a seat in the winner's circle. We'll also see Malin Ackerman take on actor and comedian Tom Papa. The season finale of the $100,000 Pyramid airs this Sunday at 10 p.m. right here on ABC.
You know what? You wear those pants, you're welcome to play anytime.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Let's move on. And finally, our series Sideline Superheroes. This morning, we're headed to St. Louis, Missouri for an extra special Mother's Day story. Tiffany Spain has been the track and field coach at Cardinal Ritter College Prep for 7 years, head coach for the last 5, and she has led her women's team to back-to-back. Wow. Now, I'm no mathlete, but I think that's 4 times. Championships, earning the class 5 Coach of the Year 3 times, and she's got a very special student athlete in the ranks right now for the last 4 years. Coach Tiffany has been able to coach her very own daughter Kendall on the track, and Kendall told us that her mom pushes her to be not just her best on the track, but her off the track as well. Her go-to mantra is no pain, no podium. I have never heard that before,
No
but I
pain,
really
no
like it.
podium. Well done, Mom.
Right? All right. That's pop news on a Friday.
Thank you, Sam. We got to head over this way. You
All right,
coming
let's
with
go.
me? Okay, because we're going to Lori Bergamato, who's also a mom, and she's got the right stuff for all the moms out there. Flowers for Mom, and they are all shoppable on our website. Happy Mother's Day, my sweet to you, Mom. So good to see you.
Happy Mother's Day to both of you, by the way.
Thank you. And to your mommy as well. Yes. Okay, and we got some flowers here from 1-800-Flowers.
Yes, and you guys know them, you love them. They are the OG, right?
Yeah.
Traditional, beautiful flowers. None of that has changed, except it's just gotten better. So they have a local florist network of 5,000 different florists, and they use a hybrid of those florists as well as farm to fresh flowers. Look at these arrangements,
They look
you guys.
beautiful.
But I'll tell you, because I know we're all procrastinators
Yeah,
here,
we're all
right?
up against a deadline.
What's great about this is that they offer same-day delivery. You can even order them on Mother's Day until 11:30 a.m.
Wow.
How
way.
crazy is that? So get on it today, though.
Yeah,
just
like,
let's
you
be
don't have
smart
to
about
wait
it.
until 11:30.
But just know they have the traditional, beautiful flowers, and then also new collabs like this Love Shack fancy one.
Which I love that.
So
Yeah.
cool, right?
Vase.
Okay.
Yep.
Next up, we have from Urban Stems. This is the
Pretty.
more modern,
Yeah.
very trendy. These are all designed by an in-house floral
Gorgeous.
designer here in New York City. Gorgeous farm fresh flowers.
So pretty.
You can also get same-day delivery in 8 cities across the country, but they can also do next day. So that's from Urban
Okay.
Stems.
Okay.
And then this is from Benchmark Bouquets, you guys. This one is
Beautiful.
fantastic because what they did here was it's the #1 floral seller on Amazon. You can click to buy and get them immediately. They're bud to bloom. And then finally, we can't forget about terrain, dried flowers that
pretty.
last forever. So these were incredible. These are Anthropology, very chic, beautiful
They are
aesthetic, and they really preserve and last forever. So there's something for everyone. We're going to get into it even later.
And apparently, Sam, you're bringing these to your mom.
Well, I just talked to Mom yesterday. I think Miss Sylvia already knows that I haven't really done much yet. So, Mom, guess what? Don't look.
They're
You're
gonna
getting
travel.
You're getting
They're
a
gonna
surprise.
travel so well.
Yeah, I'm going to sit on the train with them. So they'll
Well,
be
happy
just
Mother's
fine.
Day to Miss Gail and to
you.
Miss Sylvia and
Thank
to
you.
my mama Bergamato at home.
Happy Mother's Day
All right.
to all the mamas out there, and to anyone who's not a mama, get some flowers. You still have a little time.
That's right.
Coming up, we are just minutes away from our big Mother's Day surprise. You do not want to miss this.
That's a big crowd.
Oh yeah, and a bed. Stay with
And
us.
a bed.
Welcome back to GMA, live from Times Square.
Welcome back, and happy Mother's Day to all the amazing moms in our lives. We're able to highlight a few of them on the screen right now. And we have a very incredible surprise for one very special mom.
Yes, Eva Pilgrim is in Bainbridge, Georgia to do the honors. Eva, I think you're ready.
Okay, guys, we are here in Bainbridge, Georgia to surprise Patricia Isom. She is an incredible mother and a 6th grade teacher, and she is just inside there in what she thinks is a professional development meeting. Yes. All right, Mrs. Taunton, let's call her.
All right, Mr. Kirkland, make the call. Mr. Kirkland, make the call.
Let's see if they'll make the announcement. They should announce it over the speaker so she knows to come out. That's the plan.
Miss Patricia Isom, please report to the gym at this time. Miss Patricia Isom, please report to the gym at this time.
Y'all, she has no idea. No idea. How have you guys kept this a secret?
It's been very difficult. Very difficult.
She thinks that she's in this development meeting. Hi, Miss Isom.
Hi.
I'm Eva Pilgrim with Good Morning America. You're on live television right now. Hi, how are you? We hear that you are this incredible mom to not just your boys, but also to so many other kids.
Okay.
Just walk with me here. And so we got over 2,000 applications for this. And they chose you based on all the applications that came in because you are just such a special, special person.
Thank you.
We have a door here for you. You want to open that door? Come on, we got to keep going. We got some surprise. So this is your best friend Trini, right? Okay, so Trini actually made a full-on PowerPoint presentation about how amazing you are. Yeah, this is all because of her right here. Are you in shock?
Yes.
All right, so I want to show you what else we have surprised for here. Ready? Open that door. In bed. I just want you to pop up over here. Get in that bed. Push your feet up. Relax a little bit. So, we have all your best girlfriends. We have your brothers behind you, your sons, your husband. They all love you so much. And here's the thing. We know how amazing you are, but we want America to know. So take a look right there.
Life has tried so many times to give her lemons, but she's decided every time to pull out her sugar, stir it up, and make lemonade.
For those who know and love her, Patricia Isom is a ray of sunshine who has never stopped shining.
She's just a loving person.
She has persevered. She is one of the strongest women.
In 2010, as a new mother, Patricia faced the loss of her husband on their 5th wedding anniversary.
That left her the sole caregiver of their 2 young sons. Andrew was only a few years old, and Alan was a few months old.
Trish, as her friends call her, remaining positive and focused on raising her young boys.
She'd do anything in the world to make sure that they're supported.
Eventually remarrying in 2012, but just 6 months later, her husband suffering a massive stroke. Trish by his side during his recovery.
She's the epitome of a wife.
She says all the time, that had to happen. That had to happen in order for me to be here.
And as Trish remained a pillar of support for her family and friends, she poured even more of herself into her job as an educator.
Discuss 2 ways that you can help your community.
Even being named Teacher of the Year.
She wants every child to succeed at their maximum potential.
She's a mother figure to some of these kids who don't have that warm mother role model at home, and she is that for our students.
At Bainbridge Middle School, where she works alongside her 3 brothers, her bright spirit inspiring students.
She was the light inside the room.
I've never met another teacher like Miss Isom.
She makes me feel like I want to go to school.
She had a very positive impact.
So this Mother's Day, we honor Trish for doing her very best as an educator, friend, and a devoted mother.
You are the strongest person that I know. I love you. We're here to honor you and keep doing what you do. This had to happen for you.
She's a great mother, and she's a mother to her students.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. I'm blessed to have you as my mother. I couldn't ask for anyone else, and you're just the best mom, the best.
Happy Mother's Day, Patricia.
Trish, I hope you have the best Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Miss Isom. Happy Mother's Day, Miss Isom. Thank you for all that you've done for me.
You are such a light, and the world needs more people like you.
Happy Mother's Day, Trish. The best mother that I know.
Is this what you expected when you woke up this morning?
No, ma'am, I did not.
To see all this love?
Yes. No, I did not expect it. I'm very grateful.
Trini, why did you want to nominate her?
Again, like I said on the piece, she's just the best mother that I know. We've been friends since I was 10, so that's 47 plus years. And she's just the strongest person I know. Again, she just wakes up every morning, turns those lemons into lemonade, and I love her for it.
You can feel the love coming off of her and how much everyone loves her. James, you're her husband. I know you've been looking around, you've been spotting all these different people here. Why is she so special?
She's compassionate, loving. She's a wonderful cat mom and a wonderful mom in general, especially to her students, because she basically adopts them as her own. They all call her Isoms.
Oh, that's very sweet. Well, we have a special something for you here. Some people from the city of Bainbridge, you guys have a special announcement?
We do. Miss Isom, what a great way to end Teacher Appreciation Week and to start Mother's Day weekend. Thank you for what you are doing to give us future leaders with these students. The city of Bainbridge has decided that we want to declare today Patricia Isom Day.
And you have a little basket there for you as well. Okay. Guys, I think Miss Isom here is just now starting to understand. People have been pulling one over on you.
Yeah, I can't get over it. The people I live with, I'm just surprised.
I said, that camera guy, you recognize him? He was in your classroom yesterday.
Yes, I thought it was for a college class or something. I didn't know it was for this.
It was for Good Morning America. And all of these people, I know some of your girlfriends, you haven't seen them in so long. Well, we have another surprise for you. We heard from a little birdie that you really love gospel music.
Yes, I do.
So we have 20-time Grammy Award winner, superstar, Kirk Franklin. Come on out.
How y'all doing?
Such a mystery. Someone to be there just for me. What you did on Calvary.
Yes, sir.
Makes me want to love you more. I never knew I could be so happy.
Miss Isom.
I never knew I'd be so secure.
Because of your love.
Because of your love.
That's right.
Life has brand new meaning.
It's gonna be.
It's gonna be a brighter day. Brighter day.
Oh, thank you so much, Kirk. You know, why was this so important for you to be here for this?
Well, you know, I was adopted, and I didn't get a chance to be raised by my mother. And so when you talk about Mother's Day and when it comes to celebrating someone who's given so much, I mean, I had to show up. So I had to show up for you because it means the world for all the mothers in the world for me to let you know how valuable you are. Thank you.
Thank you.
To see Kirk Franklin came all the way to Bainbridge, Georgia, just for you.
Yes, I'm just I'm speechless, but I'm excited. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. And thank you for letting me lay on your shoulder.
Great. We got more surprises for you. Okay. More surprises, guys. Back to you in the studio.
That was excellent.
She's fantastic.
Love that. That was great. Coming up, we've got more big breakfast in bed surprises. Stay with us.
That was funny.
I'll be so secure because of your love. Life has brand new meaning.
A lot of chaos.
It's gonna be a brighter day, brighter day.
Yeah.
I never knew I could be so.
These mornings are the best mornings every year, but this was really, really special.
Really good, yeah.
Let's go back to Eva Pilgrim in Bainbridge, Georgia. Hey, Eva, we've loved watching every bit of this mom.
Guys, y'all, this has been so much fun. Are you having fun?
I am.
Or are you still overwhelmed?
I'm better.
You're better.
Yeah.
This is Patricia Isom, and she is literally an angel. She's an incredible mother, and we're giving you breakfast in bed because you deserve it. She also, y'all, teaches 6th grade. That's a special award in and of itself right there, right? 6th grade. But we're so glad to have you here and so glad to honor you. We have so many surprises for you this morning.
Okay.
So we know that you really love your family.
Yes.
And we wanted to be able to give you and your family a chance to relax and to enjoy each other. And so Norwegian Cruise Line and Alaska Airlines is sending you and your family on a cruise to Alaska this summer. Here you go. Honors Teacher All Year Long program. They have a teacher's cruise discount. So they're going to send you guys on a vacation.
Wow. Oh my God.
And that's not all. You notice your girlfriends are all here, right?
Yes.
Team Trish, they're all blinged out. These ladies have been friends since they were little girls, some of them from the womb. You guys know a lot about each other. You haven't seen each other, all of you, in a while.
No.
So we also heard you like country music.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we have a special message from a special friend. Take a look over here.
It's Megan Maroney, and I wanted to wish Miss Patricia Isom a happy Mother's Day. Your friend Trini told me you are a huge fan of my music, and I would love to personally invite you and your girlfriends to my MIOK tour in Savannah, Georgia. Have a very wonderful Mother's Day, and I'll see you soon. Have a very wonderful Mother's Day.
So, in order to help make that happen, Expedia is giving you guys $7,500 in one key cash for your girls' weekend, so you can go see Megan Maroney or the Team Trish ladies.
Oh, wow.
Don't behave now, okay?
No problem.
Yeah, no problem. You guys are funny. And the other thing I know really matters to you are these kids, these students.
Oh, yeah.
You love these students so much. And so we have a special gift from Donors Choose, $25,000 gift card that's going to go here to the school. Yay! And that's not all, because this is Good Morning America. So we have one more. Dollar General is also donating $25,000 to Bainbridge Middle School for books. How much does this money mean for a school like this?
Everything. Art supplies, books, just everything for a school like this. You're right. Everything.
We got the principal over here, Mr. Kirkland.
Yes.
To see this kind of money that's going to be here at this school.
The impact on our school is tremendous. When these people give to our school, the impact on our teachers, it just provides opportunities for us to give back to our students and our teachers.
What do you think?
I'm excited. Thank you so very much. It's awesome.
Thank you for being an incredible mom, not just to your boys, but to all of these kids that we see here behind us. Can we give it up for Miss Isom? Y'all, we're so lucky to get to spend time with her today. Honor all the moms in our lives. Back to you guys.
Eva, that was flawless. Gifts for her, gifts for the most important part of her life, the kids at school. We will be right back. Happy Mother's Day, moms everywhere.
Well, that was a special morning, huh?
Yeah, really nice.
So happy for everyone down there in Bainbridge, Georgia. Look at that scene this morning, thanks to Eva and our entire team. And happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. We hope you have a great weekend.
Yeah, Eva, Ginger, and Rebecca, happy Mother's Day to you all as well. And all the moms out there and everyone watching. Thanks for watching, everybody. We hope you have a great weekend. Take care, Mom.
Thanks.